Welcome to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gubin. Here are the stories that we're following today, August 19, 2013. In Grenada, new ambassadors to take up posts. Bahamas repatriates 24 Cubans. Leah chooses Taiwan Prime Minister. And in Trinidad and Tobago, Warner tells the Prime Minister, "Don't cry, use my 50 crime measures." Details on these headlines and more when we return.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with zero out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with zero out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.
5 million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gubin. This segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. In Grenada, the new ambassadors appointed by the 6-month administration of the new National Party are ready to take up their posts following the presentation of the credentials on Friday. Addressing a sitting of Parliament, Foreign Affairs Minister Nicholas Steele put all doubts aside regarding Grenada's ambassadorial positions, particularly in Beijing and New York. And I quote, "Mr. Speaker, I am proud to announce that as of today, all of our ambassadors have received credentials for Washington, D.C., New York, Beijing, Havana, Caracas, and London, and all individuals will be departing the state within the next week within the next week and a half to their various missions to take up their positions there." The Foreign Affairs Minister disclosed that all ambassadors were briefed during a seminar organized by his ministry together with individuals from the Accountant General's Office in the Ministry of Finance to make sure they fully understand their various duties and responsibilities. The new ambassadors are Carl Hurd, who goes to China, Dr. Angus Friday, who will be based in Washington and will also be the representative to the Organization of American States, Clarice Charles heads to Cuba, Jocelyn Whiteman, who will be the High Commissioner in London, Hassan Hadid, the ambassador to Venezuela, and Dr. Dennis Antoine will be the new ambassador to the United Nations. For the first time since independence, Grenada will not be having a Consul General at the New York mission, but instead an Honorary Consul General. Concerning the embassy in Brussels, Steele said there will no longer be Grenada embassy there, as the entire OECS will be moving to open one embassy and appoint one ambassador. The ambassadors are expected to work along with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to improve diplomatic and bilateral relations. Exiled Cubans in Miami have strongly criticized the Bahamian government for repatriating 24 Cuban migrants. According to the Miami Herald, the 24 were bused to the airport and put aboard a plane bound for Cuba, despite last-minute entreaties by U.S. government and other officials to delay the returns. The alleged abuse and plans for repatriations have reportedly heightened tension in South Florida, where Cuban groups called for tourist boycotts of the Bahamas, held hunger strikes, and staged horn-honking protests from around the Bahamian consulate. Ramon Saul Sanchez, head of the Miami-based Democracy Movement, said his group plans to accuse Bahamas Prime Minister Perry Christie and International for sending the migrants back to Cuba in order to hide from public view those who were tortured in his country. It will also ask that the 24 Cubans repatriated be given protection and visas by Panama and other countries to resolve a humanitarian issue, the Herald said. It said those repatriated Friday include 8 involved in filming a cell phone video showing an alleged guard at the Immigration Detention Center in Nassau kicking several detainees on the ground. Panama had offered asylum to them and 11 others allegedly beaten. However, Bahamian authorities claimed in July that the video was fake. But Miami Congresswoman Elena Rose Lehtinen said U.S. State Department officials had told her that Nassau has now confirmed its veracity and removed the guilty guards. And I quote, "It is shameful that the Bahamian government would not even consider the humanitarian asylum offer made by the government of Panama," added the Cuban-American Republican. Numerous flights disruptions, which left hundreds of Liat passengers stranded between Friday and Sunday, has been blamed on management's poor decision to charter one of its ATR aircraft to transport the Taiwanese Prime Minister, who is currently visiting several territories around the region. Two well-placed officials told the media that on Friday at least 4 flights were put off, while on Saturday another 5 flights out of Antigua were cancelled, in addition to 3 out of Barbados, 2 from Puerto Rico and 1 from Trinidad. As a consequence, one of the sources said more flights are expected to be affected today as staff work on clearing the backlog. The source said management's decision to leave passengers stranded so as to provide the charter to the official is ironic and foolish. That's because, according to the source, the decision was made amidst the company's summer meltdown, and on the same day the Liat's chief executive officer, Ian Brunton, issued a press statement vowing the company would do better. And I quote, "Liat had an obligation to outsource the charter and deliver uninterrupted service to its regular customers. Because of the stature of the official and nature of his travels, security personnel had to search and secure the aircraft since Friday, ahead of the departure on Saturday. So many passengers were left behind," the source noted. Effort to reach Liat's communications officer Desmond Brown were unsuccessful. Chairman of the Leeward Islands Airline Pilots Association, LIALPA, Captain Carl Burke, who appeared as a guest on Observer Radio's Big Issues program yesterday, declined to discuss the details of the issue, even as he confirmed there were some flight cancellations. Meantime, another source told this newsroom, while pilots are complaining of being pushed to the limit and working on their days off, mechanics and engineers are also being worked to the point of exhaustion at times. When Liat embarked upon its refleeting exercise, it sent many of its pilots overseas to be trained to fly the new ATR 72-600. In keeping with aviation regulations, those pilots who are now trained to fly that type of aircraft cannot go back to flying the company's Dash 8 airplanes that account for the majority of aircraft in use. In Trinidad and Tobago, interim political leader of the Independent Liberal Party, Jack Warner, has told Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar not to shed any crocodile tears over crime, since she was yet to implement one of the 50-plus crime measures he had suggested to the government when he was Minister of National Security. Warner told party supporters at an ILP public meeting in Sangre Grande, and I quote, "Almost everything in this country is at a standstill except corruption and crime, both which are now galloping out of control." Sounding very perturbed, Warner declared, "Since you are not crying over the corruption taking place under your nose, do not bother to shed any crocodile tears over crime." Warner called on the Prime Minister to implement some of the 30 anti-crime measures which he had started and suggested when he was National Security Minister. Some of these suggestions made by Warner are establishment of a gun court to treat with gun-related offenses, reintroduction of night courts, establishment of courts in the remand yard of the maximum security prison, the return of the prison service under the Ministry of National Security, review of the legislation as it relates to firearm matter so that the burden of proof lies with the defendant and not the prosecution, and the list goes on. You're watching Caribbean Affiliate News. We will be right back.
take your car out. This is awesome.
It's time to grow up.
You're crazy.
Little while
Go faster. Stop.
it'll all be alright.
I raised my son to be careful,
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom.
but just to be safe,
So don't you worry.
I got a Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Coleman Subaru, 1710 North Alden Avenue, Ewing, New Jersey, or colemansubaru.com.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with zero out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with zero out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.